I just felt like the Met Gala, I can't even believe I'm gonna say this, but seeing her iced out in such force while someone like Blake Lively was there, I was a little embarrassed for her, and it made me like feel sad. Hi, all. Kinsey Schofield here. I'm still on the road, and it's been 24 hours since I covered the Met Gala with Maureen Callahan on The Nerve. So I've had some time to process everything and and honestly to reach out to some of my friends and get their opinions as well, specifically when it comes to Meghan Markle's lack of appearance at this year's Met Gala. Now, there were a ton of people that said that, well, leading up to it, Paula Froelich specifically said Meghan thought this was the year that she could go to the Met Gala between Beyonce and Venus Williams being some of the people in charge this year, that this would be her time to shine. We haven't really seen a connection with Beyonce truly since Meghan read out a text message without her permission on her reality show on Netflix, Harry and Meghan. Meghan has attended two, maybe three of her concerts since then, but Beyonce isn't photographed with her backstage or anything. And Meghan has interviewed Beyonce's mom for her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. But that was very odd because it was like a bonus podcast that came out of nowhere. So I'm not sure that there is an established relationship with Beyonce anymore, especially after this. I want to call it a snub. Venus Williams, incredibly close to her sister Serena. Serena says she's friends with Meghan, but posts some busted up chocolate and sounds like she's speaking at a funeral while trying to endorse this basket of freebies. Um, and so yeah, there was talk that because of these different personalities, she was more likely to receive an invitation. The Met Gala, I mean, no matter what you think of it, it's a glamorous event where you're dressed up by, you know, some of the greatest designers in our lifetime. And it's just supposed to be fun and bold. And I do think that it's likely something Meghan Markle would love to do in her lifetime. But the reports as of last week were that she was being shut out. And I'd heard that too. I've had friends that know Anna Wintour tell me that Anna is choosing the future. Anna's choosing the working royals. She's always been a monarchist, and she sees Prince William and Catherine as the future, and she's not going to do anything to just jeopardize that. I'm also thinking too quickly that Chloe Mall was spotted with Meghan, maybe not last year, but the year before in New York. Meghan trying to schmooze Vogue's new editor-in-chief in the States. So it has seemed like Meghan was trying to work that contact. It was around the time that she was on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, where she was humiliated by the fact that they included the part where she was announced in an empty house. But I didn't want to say for sure that Meghan wasn't going to show up that night leading up to the event because she loves to try to prove people wrong. And I thought she would show up come hell or high water, whether she was welcome or not. And here's an interesting thing one of my sources said that's close to Anna Wintour. They said if Meghan and I have an easier time being hypothetical about this after witnessing Blake live, and you have to go back and watch the live stream when Maureen Callahan tells us that Blake Lively has arrived at the Met Gala, and we're like, I said, well, of course she did. She just settled her lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. She's trying to reset. Like, this is her being like, all right, everything's fine now. Look at my beautiful dress. Distract, distract. But I think that this is an easier to digest hypothetical after seeing the audacity of Blake Lively at the Met Gala. I thought that she would just show up and they would have, maybe they would just have to accept her because it would be embarrassing for so many parties if they didn't. But my source said, like, if Meghan Markle would have shown up on a street corner dressed in couture, Anna Wintour would have turned her away. She has her hand in absolutely everything, which is why it's so wild that Blake Lively somehow passed the stink test. But that would have been an even more incredible, humbling had she just had Meghan shown up and been turned away by Anna Wintour. But my source says Anna Wintour does not want her there, is choosing the side that she believes is right, and that's the working royals. Who was I talking to, though, that maybe it was Tim McKay? Maybe. I was talking to someone saying that you do see a somewhat pleasant exchange between Anna Wintour and Meghan at Paris Fashion Week. And someone was saying, like, yeah, but that's just so fake. And that's just the industry where, yes, if you stumble upon someone, you go, oh, hi. But then as soon as they walk away from you, you're like, B word. So, yeah, my sources say she wasn't wanted. She would have been turned away. Why I hesitated to say that leading up to the event, because I think that Audacity is on sale this year. Blake Lively's the perfect example of that. And a relentlessly shameless attempt at changing the narrative around what a screw up she is. And these are the consequences of her own actions. And I would argue that Meghan Markle is the exact same case. But what a fall from grace, because when Harry and Meghan initially left the British royal family, they were incredibly popular and they would have been welcome at the Met Gala. It's their destructive behavior and their bitterness and their vengeance that has turned people, celebrities specifically, off, but it's also them burning bridges directly with people. The Daily Mail had a piece that was like, the Kardashians don't like them because of Photogate. I mean, think about all the people that Meghan asked for a favor to do her Spotify, or not even Spotify. Yeah, her Spotify podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. I mean, she's calling in these favors, and it's my understanding that, like, once she's used people, again, this is my opinion. Once she uses people and they're no longer of value to her, she trashes them. She she no longer engages with them once they can't help her anymore. And it's it's coming back to bite them in the butt. And I think that Montecito, those strategy sessions about how to change the brand, which are pretty consistent, by the way, the how do we change public perception? Those conversations are happening all the time. But it's lonelier now because they're running out of people to call to bail them out. And I just felt like the Met Gala I can't even believe I'm gonna say this, but seeing her iced out in such force while someone like Blake Lively was there, I was a little embarrassed for her. And it made me like feel sad. I mean, I've not really been on the Harry and Meghan beat since I went to Washington. I've been kind of, Kevin O'Sullivan will pull me back into it every once in a while, but I've been focused on the bigger picture of what the US visit between King Charles and President Trump meant for our two countries and how it's going to affect our two countries in the future over the next few years and over however long Keir Starmer has left in office as the UK's Prime Minister. That's so much more interesting to me than Meghan posting a video of her in the chicken coop. So that's where my focus has been. And so to be kind of shot back into the Meghan space and seeing how humiliating this is for her, I was like, I hate this feeling. I do not like it. Ooh. But again, these are the consequences of her own actions. So that's how I felt about Met Gala. I haven't really dwelled on it anywhere. I haven't really shared that anywhere yet. But, you know, 24 hours later, I feel like this is a bigger blow than I recognized initially, especially with some of the shady characters that were also walking, shameless, I should say, two characters that walked that carpet. It says a lot about their decline in social status and their relevance. And if I were them, they can leak whatever they want to People magazine, however they want. But facts matter. And the absence of Meghan at a place that could have potentially been a safe space for her based on some of those committee members, I think it says a lot. I think it says a lot for their future. They've got to clean up their act. They have to be kinder to the people around them, and they need to do favors for other people for a change versus always asking people to do them a solid. So it's going to be an interesting rest of 2026 to see how this all plays out and unfolds. But I didn't really miss daily Meghan Markle updates while I was in DC. It was kind of a thrill to not know what was going on in her chicken coop. And listen to Lily's American accent. She's an American. What did you think she was going to sound like? Agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Or don't. It's a late night stew session. Maybe you want this to stay intimate between the two of us, and if that's the case, I totally get it. But thanks for watching my video. Bye.